My name is Les Anderson. I farm in southeast Minnesota near Red Wing. My wife and I, we farm about 1,200 acres of corn and soybeans. I'm the fourth generation to farm this ground. Our ancestors came from Scandinavia, and we settled in this area of the rolling hills of the Mississippi Valley. Today we're going to be loading out some corn for take it to the Mississippi River to be loaded onto barges, and then it'll be exported to different countries around the world. Harvest is just around the corner here. Typically October 1st is when we start harvesting. It takes about a month's time to process or to harvest the corn and the soybeans and stuff, and hopefully we're done by the November 1st or middle part of November if it's a good year, and sometimes longer if it doesn't cooperate. So this part of the territory, the crop is typically harvested and stored until spring because our market is the Mississippi River for the most part, and that freezes up. So the shipping ends about 1st of December, end of November. So we need to be able to store that crop until summertime, until we can, of the next year, till we can take it to market. Behind me is the combine that we use for harvesting our crops. Grain quality really starts with the harvest. The machine has to be in good shape up to all the maintenance done and everything like that, so it doesn't damage the grain. That is the biggest cause of poor quality grain is at harvest, cracking the corn, breaking the kernel and things like that. So it's pretty critical. If you don't get that right, nothing else is going to work right. So we typically harvest corn when it's about lower 20% moisture, and we dry it down to a 15% moisture for storage, 14 to 15 in that range. I use dryers, a low temperature dryer, so it really helps the grain quality and test weight and FM and all those sorts of things. Once the grain is dried, it's dried about 180 degrees, and then we cool it down to whatever the air temperature is, usually 50 to 60 degrees in the fall. And then through the winter we manage it and to keep the air temperature fairly constant with the outside temperature, so we don't get any moisture migration through the bin and create some hot spots and things like that. So it's a bit of a constant process, but usually when we get it gets pretty stable at 13, 14, 15% moisture. So, and it can be stored quite a while there as long as you maintain the air temperature on the bin. After the grain is dried, it's conveyed on a cushion of air to the top of the bins. It never touches any other metal augers or anything else on the whole system there, which greatly helps grain quality. Typically in April, May, we start taking corn out, and it probably goes through the summer and up until the next harvest. Today we're just going to we got the last 5,000 bushels in the bin that we're getting rid of to make room for the new harvest. Grain quality is important to us for several different factors. First and foremost is the monetary part of it. We don't want to get hit in the pocketbook for having poor quality grain with discounts for FM and damage and things like that. Second, it's a safety factor. If it flows out of the grain bin, everything works a lot better. We don't put ourselves in a dangerous situation. And probably one of the most important reasons too is we want to be known as a reputable source of grain for the rest of the world. We take pride in what we do here, and we'd like the rest of the world to know that Minnesota is a reliable source of high quality grain.